In this section, we will take a look at the Linux shell in detail. We will learn how to use Linux commands and understand how to work with files and directories. We will also see different ways to get help with Linux commands. Finally, we will learn about the different types of shells used in Linux, while particularly focusing on the Bash shell. The first chapter was named Working with the Shell, Part 1. This has got to be better than the anti-corruption training, Bob thinks. He begins to read under his breath. In this section, we will take a look at the Linux shell. This command line interface will enable you to effectively work on your Linux laptop. While the graphical version may seem more appealing to new users, it can be quite limited in the level of functionality. This is where the Linux command line, commonly known as the shell, shines, and this guide will be a good place to start if you have never used the shell before. As a Linux system administrator, you would always need to know how to work with the shell. So, what is a shell? The Linux shell is a program that allows text-based interaction between the user and the operating system. This interaction is carried out by typing commands into the interface and receiving the response in the same way. The Linux shell is a powerful tool with which you can navigate between different locations within the system. However, when you log into the shell, the very first directory you are taken to is your home directory. In most cases, a user, such as Michael here, has the home directory created under the /home directory. /home is a system-created directory that contains the home directories for almost all users in the Linux system. This will be covered in more detail later. The name of a user's home directory is by default identical to that of the name of the user. Hence, Michael's home directory is /home/Michael. Remember, the home directory is unique for the user. Another user called Alan will have a different home directory, which by default should be created under /home/Alan. Why do we need a home directory? The home directory allows users to store their personal data in the form of files and directories. Each user in the system gets their own unique home directory with complete access to it, to be able to save, retrieve, or delete data. Think of it as a dedicated locker assigned to you, in which you can store or retrieve items. Other users can't access your files or folders within your home directory. Only you can. Going forward, all examples in this quick start guide will make use of the user called Michael. Another thing to note is the representation of the home directory. It is represented by the tilde symbol in the command line. What you see here is a command line prompt. You can configure it to show whatever you want, such as the host name, date, or time. It is currently configured to show the current working directory. The tilde symbol here represents the home directory. To interact with the Linux system using the shell, a user has to type in commands. When a command is run, it executes a program to achieve a specific task. For example, the echo command is used to print a line of text on the screen. Go on, try it in your terminal. Bob types in echo and hits enter. Well, that did not do anything, Bob thinks. He reads further. When you used the echo command, you did not tell what you want to print, and as a result, it prints nothing. That's where an argument comes into the picture. An argument acts as an input to the command. Now type in a single word such as hello, following the echo command, and hit enter. The word hello was printed in a new line in the shell. As you get used to the shell, you will find that many of the commands need arguments to work. This is not mandatory, though. There are several commands that can work without arguments too. As an example, type in the command called uptime. This is used to print information about how long the system has been running for since the last reboot, along with other information. This command does not need an argument. A command can also have options that modify its behavior in some predetermined way. The option, also sometimes referred to as a switch or a flag, is usually a single letter preceded by a single hyphen. For example, to print the same word hello, but without a new trailing line afterward, use the echo command with a -n flag. It is impossible to remember all the possible options a command may offer. This is why it is important to make it a practice to refer to the command help options or man pages when working with unfamiliar commands. We will cover these later in the section. The document moves on and explains about command types in Linux. Commands in Linux can be generally categorized into two types: internal or built-in commands and external commands. Internal commands are part of the shell itself and come bundled with it. There are in total about 30 such commands. Common built-in commands include cd, which stands for change directory, export, mkdir, or make directory, pwd, or present working directory, etc. External commands, on the other hand, are binary programs or scripts, which are usually located in distinct files in the system. They either come pre-installed with the distribution's package manager, or can be created or installed by the user. To determine if a command is internal or external, use the type command. For example, the echo command is a shell built-in. The mv command is an external command.